says 1,000 words, but still doesn't tell the full scope of the terror an ATM repairman experienced. O'Fallon, Missouri police say a group of thieves stalked him and attacked him. Tonight, they are still on the run. Well, now the search for them is going nationwide. This is First Alert 4 at 6. I'm Corey Stark.
I'm Samantha Jones. Police revealing tonight 4 people have been originally from Texas, traveled hundreds of miles away to St. Louis to commit multiple crimes, including the ATM robbery. Caroline Hecker breaking down this crime alert for us tonight. Caroline.
Well, police call it jugging. Suspects purposefully tamper with an ATM, forcing a repairman to come out to fix it. And when they do, the suspects are waiting before ambushing the victim and stealing the money cassette out of the machine. And it's happening more and more here in the Midwest and St. Louis.
A group of thieves traveled hundreds of miles from Houston, Texas to St. Louis, targeting Bank of America locations for a coordinated robbery. The suspects, 4 in total, had planned their attack carefully, stalking an ATM repairman to find an opportunity. On August 10th, they followed the repairman throughout the day as he completed his assignments across St. Louis County and St. Charles County. Their actions were deliberate, tracking his movements from one repair job to another until they could strike. Once the repairman arrived at a Bank of America on Highway K in O'Fallon, the suspects made their move. Surveillance images captured the robbery in progress, showing 2 of the assailants shoving the repairman to the ground, while one remained close, threatening him with a firearm.
This Bank of America on Highway K in O'Fallon is the backdrop for a major criminal heist. But that's far from where police say things began. O'Fallon police say a group of 4 suspects made their way from home in Houston, Texas, to St. Louis to carry out the crime. Investigators say they jammed up an ATM in St. Louis City on August 10th. Once the repairman arrived, they followed him throughout the day as he made his way around St. Louis County to other repair jobs. They continued to follow him into St. Charles County, where he stopped in O'Fallon around 11:30 that night for a repair. These surveillance pictures capture the robbery. The victim shoved to the ground as 2 suspects go for the cash. He told police one suspect stood over him, threatening to shoot him if he moved. The suspects are seen dragging the money cassette to their car and speeding away.
The victim had the wherewithal to look up at the vehicle, and he gave an initial description of the passenger vehicle, possibly a Toyota.
The repairman managed to observe the car and provide authorities with an initial description, noting it was a passenger vehicle, possibly a Toyota. Detectives immediately began canvassing local traffic and security cameras. While initial searches returned no results, investigators eventually tracked the suspect vehicle using the repairman's license plate. This investigation confirmed that the suspects had been following the repairman for hours, waiting for the perfect opportunity to commit the crime. The level of coordination and premeditation suggested a group experienced in such robberies. The thieves made off with more than $94,000, temporarily hiding the money cassette in nearby woods. However, they left behind crucial evidence. A palm print recovered from the cassette led police to Farrell Denbring of Houston, a known gang member. Denbring had been arrested a few weeks earlier for a DUI and now faced robbery charges connected to this incident. Authorities continued to search for the 3 remaining suspects, all from the Houston area, including 1 female and the driver involved in the operation.
With that, detectives started canvassing flock cameras. They came up empty until they searched for the victim's license plate. They found it, and a few cars behind it, the suspect's car. Police say the suspects had been following the repairman for hours, the same man that responded to the ATM they jammed in the city.
And they followed him throughout his day, waiting for an opportunity, and it just so happened that they picked the Bank of America here in O'Fallon.
They made off with more than $94,000 before tossing the cassette in the woods behind a Maryland Heights hotel, but not before leaving evidence behind.
We were able to get a palm print off the ATM cartridge.
ATM-related robberies like this are becoming increasingly common in the Midwest. Last year in St. Charles County, authorities arrested 5 individuals in connection with a similar theft, where nearly $300,000 was stolen. Many of those suspects were also linked to cases originating in Houston. suggesting a pattern of organized criminal activity spanning multiple states. In this case, the suspects demonstrated sophisticated planning. They identified the repairman as the key to accessing large amounts of cash and exploited predictable patterns in his work schedule. By following him across counties, they ensured they could act when the repairman reached an ATM. The assault was violent yet precise, designed to quickly secure the money while minimizing time at the scene. The swift action of law enforcement, coupled with the repairman's quick thinking in observing and reporting the suspect vehicle, allowed investigators to trace the operation back to at least one participant. This underscores the importance of coordination between ATM service personnel and local authorities, as timely reporting and evidence collection were pivotal in progressing the investigation. The incident also highlights the risks faced by ATM repair workers, who often handle significant sums of cash while moving between multiple locations daily. The combination of physical threat and criminal premeditation illustrates a broader trend of targeting financial service operations outside of standard banking hours, leveraging both mobility and anonymity to commit theft. Authorities continue their nationwide search for the remaining suspects, warning that these types of robberies are not isolated events. The case serves as a reminder of the need for heightened security measures around ATMs and increased vigilance for personnel responsible for servicing cash machines. With one suspect in custody and evidence linking others to the crime, law enforcement aims to dismantle the network responsible for this organized criminal activity, prevent further thefts, and ensure accountability for those involved. The robbery in O'Fallon stands as a stark example of the intersection between planning, opportunity, and criminal audacity. It demonstrates how a group of individuals can travel long distances, follow a target across multiple locations, and execute a complex theft while leaving traces that eventually lead to identification and arrest. Investigators stress that while Denbring is in custody, the search for the other 3 suspects remains active, and the case continues to unfold as authorities work to bring all responsible parties to justice.
Now, that 4th suspect, a female, and the driver of that car. And ATM robberies, like I said, are becoming more common. Just last year in St. Charles, police arrested 5 people in connection with an ATM robbery where nearly $300,000 was stolen. All of those suspects from Houston and linked to other cases across the Midwest. Now, there is much more to the story. You can head to our website for more details from O'Fallon's investigation. Sam?
All right.